Hello students, welcome to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone. In today's lecture, basically, we are going to discuss about the chemical properties of aldehyde and ketones. So in the chemical properties of aldehyde and ketones, first we are going to discuss about the first chemical property. So basically we are going to discuss about chemical properties. We are going to discuss about chemical properties of aldehydes, chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So in chemical properties of aldehyde and ketones, first we are going to discuss about nucleophilic addition reaction. So we are going to discuss about nucleophilic addition reaction. So what is basically nucleophilic addition reaction? You can denote nucleophilic addition reaction by NAR. So we are going to discuss the nucleophilic addition reaction for both. We are going to discuss nucleophilic addition reaction for both aldehyde as well as ketone. So we are going to discuss nucleophilic addition reactions for aldehyde as well as ketones. See what happens in basically the nucleophilic addition reaction. So first I am going to discuss for nucleophilic addition reaction there must be carbonyl group. There must be carbonyl group like this C double bond O. This carbonyl group should be present. And in this carbonyl group, when we add ENU, what is ENU? In ENU, E stands for electrophile, and NU stands for nucleophile. So E stands for electrophile, while NU stands for nucleophile, See what happens in this case. So as you can see, this C double bond O is polar in nature. So this carbon is electrophilic, having positive charge, and this oxygen having more electronegative, so partial negative charge on this oxygen. Now this has also two parts, one is electrophilic and one is nucleophilic. So electrophilic part will bear positive charge and the nucleophilic part will bear negative charge. So this nucleophilic part will attack on electrophilic carbon. This nucleophilic part will attack on electrophilic carbon. Now you can see the bond is basically like this. So when nucleophile attacks on this carbon, so nucleophile is attached to this carbon, while this nucleophilic part gets attached to carbon, and this electrophilic part will attach on oxygen. So oxygen will attach with the electrophilic part. So this is the way of direct reaction. Now we will discuss the mechanism of this reaction. Now we are going to discuss the mechanism of this reaction. What is basically the mechanism of this reaction? So we are going to discuss about mechanism of reaction. So what is basically the mechanism of this reaction? See, so there is basically carbonyl group. As you can see, this is basically the carbonyl group. And we know in carbonyl group there is positive charge on carbon and there is negative charge on oxygen because of more electronegative. So in the first step, what happens? In the first step, the nucleophile will attack. Therefore, in the first step, the nucleophile attacks. Therefore, this reaction Therefore, this reaction we called nucleophilic addition reaction. And this step is the first step. So first step of reaction is attack of nucleophile. This is the first step of reaction, and this is basically the slowest step. This is basically the slowest step, and the rate of reaction is decided by the slowest step. The rate of reaction is decided by the slowest step, and this slowest step is basically RDS. This slowest step is basically RDS. What is RDS? RDS is basically rate. RDS is basically rate determining step. RDS is basically rate determining step, you can say. So this is rate determining, step, RDS. So first step is the slowest step, RDS, rate determining step. So in the first step, this nucleophile will attack on electrophilic carbon. When this nucleophile attacks on this electrophilic carbon, it will form 5 bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 bonds is unstable in case of carbon, therefore this pi bond will break. So when this pi bond will break, it will be like this: nucleophilic attack on this carbon, and the negative charge will shift after breaking of pi bond. The negative charge will shift on oxygen. Now in the second step, what happens? In the second step, so nucleophile attacks, then electrophile will attack. So in the second step, electrophile will attack. So electrophile will attack on the negative charge oxygen. So this is basically the second step of reaction. And this step is the fast step. This step is basically fast step. Now you can easily see in this case, the product obtained will be like this. C, on this carbon nucleophile will be added, and on this oxygen electrophile will be added. So this is basically the product obtained. Now see what are the steps. So key features of the reaction, we are going to discuss key features. What are basically the key features of this reaction? So we are going to discuss key features of this reaction on the next page. What are basically the key features of reaction? What are key features of nucleophilic addition reaction? Now see what are basically the key features of this reaction. So first of all, this nucleophilic addition reaction is a two-step reaction. This nucleophilic addition reaction is two-step reaction. So this nucleophilic addition reaction is two-step reaction. So this is basically two-step reaction, and in these two steps, the first step is RDS. The first step of reaction is RDS. What is RDS? RDS means rate determining step. So first step of the reaction is rate determining step. And according to rate law, the rate of reaction depends on, according to rate of reaction. So rate law can be written using RDS. So rate law can be written using rate determining step in case of complex reactions. Now you can easily see what happens. As you can see, the first step is the slowest step. And in the first step, what is there? In the first step, carbonyl group is there also. nucleophile is there. So in first step, what are two reactants? One is this carbonyl group and this is nucleophile. So this is first step. When we write the rate of this reaction, we will use the slowest step, means RDS step. So the rate of this reaction will be written in the form, the rate of reaction will be written. So rate law basically, so you can say rate law will be like dx upon dt. Rate law will be like dx upon dt, and it will depends on the concentration of carbonyl group. It will depends on the concentration of carbonyl group, and also raised to the power 1, and also it depends on the concentration of nucleophile. So nucleophile raised to the power 1. Now you can say the order of reaction. Now you can say order of reaction will be, now you can say the order of reaction will be with respect to carbonyl power is 1, and also with respect to nucleophile the power is 1. So the order of reaction will be 1 plus 1, that is 2. This is basically the order of reaction. And you can see, you can also see in this reaction basically what I am drawing there, because you can see in the first step, you can see in basically the first step, in the first step nucleophile attacks. This is the slowest step, therefore this is RDS. And rate of the reaction is depends on this step. The rate of reaction depends only on this step. Rate of reaction depends only on this step. It means, if there is more positive charge, if there is, if more positive charge will present on this carbon, if more positive charge will present on carbon, it means if this carbon is more electrophilic, if this carbon is more electrophilic, then this nucleophile will attack on this carbon, then this nucleophile will attack on this carbon, and rate of the reaction is depends on this step. So we can say, in the form of note, we can say the reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction. We can say reactivity, of nucleophilic addition reaction. We can say reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional, to the partial positive charge, is directly proportional to the partial positive charge, directly proportional to the partial positive charge, which is plus delta, on carbonyl group, which is plus delta on carbonyl group, you can say. So this is basically, and also because in these position there will be some groups, so there is also chances of, steric hindrance due to these groups. So nucleophile will attack in easy way if steric hindrance is less. So two points are there, regarding to the reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction. One of them is, if there is more positive charge on this carbon, then nucleophile will easily attack on this carbon. And second step is, these two groups must be of a small size, then steric hindrance will be less. And if steric hindrance is less, then addition of nucleophile will be in a easy way. So there are two factors on which the reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction depends. You can write these two factors in a separate page. So I am writing the reactivity of, reactivity of nucleophilic reactivity of nucleophilic addition, reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction, reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction, which is NAR, which is NAR. So reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to, write this in the form of note, write this in the form of note, this is very important for NEET and JEE purpose. The reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional. So you can also write in short way reactivity of NAR, of NAR. So one of the factor on which reactivity depends, basically plus charge on this carbon should be high. This positive charge on the carbon is high, then the attack of nucleophile will be easy. Then the attack of nucleophile will be easy if more positive charge. And second, if suppose two groups are there, one is Z1 and one is Z2 group, so the size of these two groups will be small. When the size of these two groups will be small, then there is less steric hindrance, and if there is a less steric hindrance, then the entry of this nucleophile will be easy. So two factors, one is steric hindrance and one is the positive charge on this carbon. Positive charge should be high and the size of these groups should be small. It means steric hindrance should be less. So reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to the partial positive charge on carbon atom and inversely proportional to the steric hindrance, you can say. So you can easily say the reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to partial positive charge, is directly proportional to partial positive charge, that is plus delta on carbonyl group, on carbonyl group. So this is one. Reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to partial positive charge on carbonyl group, and inversely proportional to steric hindrance, and inversely proportional to steric hindrance. So if steric hindrance is less, then reactivity will be more. If partial positive charge is more, then reactivity will be more. You can easily identify. So it is simple. You can also say reactivity. You can also say reactivity is directly proportional to minus I group. Reactivity in nucleophilic addition reaction. Reactivity in nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to minus I group. Is directly proportional to minus I group. Now you can see very easily. For example, I'm going to discuss. See what happens. So you have to compare the rate of reaction. You have to compare reactivity of following compounds. You have to compare reactivity. So compare the reactivity of these three compounds which I am giving you. The first compound of which you have to compare the reactivity is formaldehyde, that is HCHO. The second compound which reactivity you have to compare is HC double bond O, and this is R. Now again the next compound is basically RC double bond O and R. These three compounds are given. And you have to compare the reactivity. Of these compounds. Now see, this is basically the carbonyl carbon. This is basically the carbonyl carbon. And the reactivity depends on two factors. In nucleophilic addition reaction, reactivity depends on two factors. One is partial positive charge on carbonyl group, and second is inversely proportional to steric hindrance. Now see the size. The size of H is small as compared to alkyl group. So there is two hydrogen, there is only one hydrogen, and there is alkyl group. So alkyl group size is large, and there is two alkyl groups, and there is two alkyl groups. So steric hindrance will be more. Steric hindrance will be more in case of third, and also these groups are electron releasing groups. These groups are plus I groups. These groups are plus I groups. So R group is basically plus I in nature. Here 1 plus I group nature, and reactivity is directly proportional to minus I, and reactivity is inversely proportional to plus I. Reactivity is inversely proportional to plus I. Directly proportional to minus I, inversely proportional to plus I. So there are two plus I groups. There is one plus I group. So more plus I, if more plus I means reactivity will be less. Hydrogen can neither donate electrons or can withdraw electrons. So nature of hydrogen is basically neutral. The nature of hydrogen is basically neutral. You easily know. Now see. So plus I group decreases the reactivity, and also the steric hindrance factor is also less in this case because of a small size of hydrogen. So which is more reactive? This is more reactive than this. Now you can see this is aldehyde, this is also aldehyde, and this is ketone. So make a note, in a nucleophilic addition reaction, aldehydes are always reactive than ketone. Aldehydes are always reactive than ketones. Now see next related to this. See, so aldehydes are always, you can make a note if you want, aldehydes are always aldehydes are always more reactive. Aldehydes are always more reactive than ketones. Aldehydes are always more reactive than ketones in nucleophilic addition reaction. Now see the next question related to this. The question is basically, you have to compare the reactivity. You have to compare the reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction, you have to compare. The first compound given is HCHO. The first compound given is HCHO, and the second compound given is CH3CHO. CH3CHO, and the third compound given is benzaldehyde. The third compound given is benzaldehyde, that is C double bond O and H, and the fourth compound given is CH3 C double bond O and CH3. In the same way, the fifth compound given is like this one. One is benzene group, and there is C double bond O, and one is CH3, and the sixth compound given is in this case, that is benzene. Now there is C double bond O, and also there is benzene. Now see what happens in this case. We have to compare the reactivity. So compare and arrange in the order of increasing, arrange in order of arrange in order of increasing reactivity. Arrange in order of increasing reactivity towards arrange in order of increasing reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Arrange in order of increasing reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Now you can see, as you can see in this case, the C double bond O. So basically this part we have to see. C double bond O, C double bond O, C double bond O, C double bond O, C double bond O. Now see, on this we know always, we have already note aldehydes are always more reactive than ketones. So first three compounds, this is aldehyde, this is aldehyde, this is also aldehyde, this is ketone, this is ketone, and this is ketone. It means the first three compounds are more reactive than the last three compounds. It is definitely. Now we know the nucleophilic addition reaction. Now we know the nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to partial positive charge, on on carbon on carbon atom of carbonyl group, and inversely proportional to steric hindrance. Now see, among these three aldehydes, which aldehyde is more reactive? H is neither electron withdrawing group nor electron pushing group. So H is neutral in nature, and also size is small. When size is small, then steric hindrance less. So when size is small, so steric hindrance is directly proportional to size. If size more, steric hindrance more. If size less, steric hindrance less. So size of hydrogen is small, therefore steric hindrance is less. When steric hindrance less, nucleophilic addition reaction is more. Now see second one. There is in second one, basically in the second one there is CS3 group. In second one there is CS3 group, which is large in size. When size is large, so steric hindrance is more. When size more, then steric hindrance more, and steric hindrance more, then nucleophilic addition reaction will be less. So in A and B, which is more reactive? So A is more reactive than B. A is more reactive than B. Now see the compound C. In compound C, you can see one of the atom across C double bond O is hydrogen, and another is benzene. So size is large. When size is large, means steric hindrance is more, and when steric hindrance is more, means nucleophilic addition reaction is less. So B is more reactive. B is more reactive than C. So due to size, again there is more size, so steric hindrance is more, so reactivity will be less. So A is more reactive than B, and B is more reactive than C. Now, so we have compared all aldehydes. So we have compared all aldehydes, and the reactivity of aldehydes in a nucleophilic addition reaction is always greater than the ketones. We know already. Now see what happens. As you can see, there is D compound, E compound, and F compound. Again, ketone group. So these three compounds are ketones. Now see, when ketone is there, so there is one CS3 and one CS3 group. So steric hindrance with respect to CS3. But there, one group is CS3 and the another group is benzene. So large size. While on this, there are two large size groups. So both are benzene. In this case, both are benzene, means more steric hindrance. So in these D, E, and F, the most steric hindrance, high steric hindrance in case of F. So F is least reactive. F is least reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Then steric hindrance in case of E. In case of E is less than F. So then E will be arranged. Then after you can say. After that, on this there is two CH3 groups. On this there is two CH3 groups. So steric hindrance in case of there is only one CH3, there is CH3, but there is CH3, there is benzene. So more steric hindrance in this case, E. And in F there is more steric hindrance because both are benzene groups. Because both are benzene groups. So the D will comes in this place. So this is basically the order. This is basically the order of reactivity of nucleophilic addition reaction in this case. So you have compared this in a easy way. Now see the another case related to this. The another case related to this. Suppose you want to compare the reactivity. You want to compare the reactivity of some compounds. You have to compare the reactivity of some compounds. Now, like I am giving you the questions related to this. The question is basically compare the rate of nucleophilic addition reaction. Compare the rate of nucleophilic addition reaction. The compound given is you can easily see the compound given in this case is Cl, CH2 and CHO, and the another compound given is NO2, CH2 and CHO, and another compound given is CH3, CHO. So these three compounds are given. This is first one, this is second one, and this is third one. And you have to compare the rate of reaction. Means reactivity of this compound. So how you can compare the reactivity of these compounds? I am waiting for your answers. What you people are going to do in this case. Now see what happens in this case. So you have to compare the reactivity of these compounds. Like you can see in this case what happens. This is Cl, this is CH2, and this is C double bond O and H. And there is NO2, this is CH2, and this is C double bond O and H. And there is CH3, C double bond O and H. Now see what happens in this case. As you can see, this Cl group is basically minus I in nature. Minus I. We know minus I group. So nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to minus I. Nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to minus I group. Now, this is basically the NO2 group. So NO2 group is also minus I in nature. NO2 group is also minus I group in nature. So Cl is minus I group, and also NO2 group is also minus I in nature. Now see what happens. So this is again minus I group, but they are CH3. But their CH3 is plus I group. But they are plus CH3 group. So their plus CH3 group is basically plus I in nature. Now see what happens in this case. You can easily identify this is minus I group in nature, this is minus I group in nature, and this is plus I group in nature. Now see what happens. We know nucleophilic addition reaction. We know the nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to minus I. And the minus I power of NO2 is more than Cl. the minus I power of NO2 is more than Cl. You can easily say. And more minus I means more nucleophilic addition reaction. So nucleophilic, and we know nucleophilic addition reaction is inversely proportional to plus I. So plus I group decreases the reactivity. Plus I group decreases the plus I group. If plus I is more, nucleophilic addition reaction will be less. So therefore third is least reactive. Third is least reactive. And in first and second, power of minus I in case of NO2 is more. Therefore more nucleophilic addition reaction in case of second. So second is more reactive, most reactive then first and then third. So this is basically the rate. This is basically the rate of nucleophilic addition reaction in these three compounds. In these three compounds, you can say. Now see the question based on this, and also some stereochemistry related to this, and also some stereochemistry related to this. So I'm going to discuss stereochemistry related to this. Suppose, for example, if there is ketonic group, for example, if there is ketone group like RC double bond O, and this is basically R dash, and this is basically R dash. So this is basically the unsymmetrical ketone because R and R dash is not same. So when R and R dash is not same, this is basically the unsymmetrical ketone. This is basically the unsymmetrical ketone. So when you add nucleophile, this nucleophile is having the negative charge and this carbon is having the partial positive charge. So this nucleophile having negative charge will attack on the carbonyl carbon. When it attacks on the carbonyl carbon, because this is sp2, so after the attack of nucleophile, this on this carbon, this is R dash, and when nucleophile adds, and when nucleophile adds on this oxygen, there is negative charge. On this oxygen there is negative charge plus. Now again this is carbon, so now on this carbon again you can say, so you can basically form the mirror image of this. So how you can form mirror image of this? So when you form mirror image of this, this is basically R dash, and the nucleophile will come in this way, and this R dash will come in this way, and this R will be like this, and this oxygen will be like this. So these two are basically mirror images. Therefore we can call these compounds are basically racemic mixture. So racemic mixture is obtained. After the attack of nucleophile in the unsymmetrical ketone. Note this point. So when the nucleophile attacks on the unsymmetrical ketone, unsymmetrical ketones means this R and R dash are unequal, different. When the nucleophile attacks on the unsymmetrical ketone, then the racemic mixture is obtained as a product. Now see the reactions related to this. What are basically the reactions related to nucleophilic addition reaction? So we are going to discuss reactions related to nucleophilic addition reaction. First, I am going to discuss the first reaction. I am going to discuss addition of HCN. First reaction I am going to discuss is addition of HCN. So how basically the addition of HCN will take place? This is HC triple bond N. This is HC triple bond N. Now there is carbonyl carbon. Like this, C double bond O. When you add HCN, so HCN having basically two parts, H positive and Cn negative. So in the first step, there is attack of nucleophile in the RDS, means rate determining step. This carbon having partial positive charge. When nucleophile attacks on this carbon, this pi bond will break. This pi bond will break. So when this pi bond will break on this carbon, CN group will be added, and oxygen will be having negative charge. Oxygen will be having negative charge. Now this H positive, will attack on O minus. So when it attacks on O minus, it will form a compound like this. This is C, this is OH, and on this carbon, this is CN group is there. So this compound we called cyno, because cyno group is there, and also hydroxy group is there. Cyno as well as hydroxy group is there. Therefore, we call this compound as cyanohydrine. Therefore, we call this compound as cyanohydrine. Therefore, we call this compound as cyanohydrine. Now see the questions related to this. If we have formaldehyde, and we add HCN. So there is basically two parts. One is H positive and one is CN negative. There is partial positive charge on this carbon. There is partial negative charge on this oxygen. So this CN basically attacks on this carbon. So at the same time, this pi bond will break on this oxygen. So it will form HCH, and CN attacks on this carbon. So negative charge on this oxygen. So after attack of H plus, it will form HCH. This is OH, and this is CN. This product is basically obtained. In this case. And we know when there is CN group, and you do the complete hydrolysis, so reaction with H2O and H plus, and in presence of complete hydrolysis. So in complete hydrolysis, this CN group will oxidize, means converted into COH group. Now see the another reaction related to this. The next question I'm going to discuss related to this is basically, you can easily see. So basically the question is, there is CH3, C, double bond O and H, and you add HCN. Now see, because there is positive charge on hydrogen, there is negative charge on CN. So when it attacks, there is partial positive charge on carbon, there is partial negative charge on oxygen. So this CN minus basically attacks on this carbonyl carbon. At the same time, this pi bond will break on oxygen. So this will convert into CH3, C, and on this carbon, CN group attacks. There is hydrogen, and on this oxygen, there is negative charge. So this H plus will attack on this oxygen. And it will form CH3, C, H, and this is basically the OH, and this is basically the OH, and this is basically the CN. You can easily see in this case what happens. On this carbon there is hydrogen, on this carbon there is OH group, on this carbon there is CH3 group, on this carbon there is CN group. So basically 4 different groups are there. On this carbon 4 different groups are there. When 4 different groups are attached, on a sp3 atom, there it is the carbon atom. So this carbon we called chiral carbon. This is basically the chiral carbon, and you represent the chiral carbon in the form of star, asterisk. So this asterisk represents the chiral carbon. Now see, I'm going to the reactions related to this and the question asked in the previous years See, what are the questions related to this? You have to complete the following reactions. First of all, you should know these two reactions. If there is C triple bond N group, and you use H2O in presence of H plus, this is hydrolysis. And if there is complete hydrolysis, then this CN group, if there is complete hydrolysis, then this CN group will convert into COOH group, means carboxylic group. If this is CN group, this is C triple bond N, and you do the hydrolysis, means H2O in presence of H plus, and you do the partial hydrolysis, So in case of partial hydrolysis, this CN group will convert into C double bond ONH2. So after complete hydrolysis, carboxylic acid is obtained from nitrile group, and after partial hydrolysis, amide group is obtained. These two reactions you should know. And the third reaction, because I will discuss one question related to this one question related to these ones. And the next one is basically if you have C triple bond N, and we use lithium aluminium hydride, in this case. So what happens? So when you use lithium aluminium hydride in this case, what happens? Lithium aluminium hydride is added, so this will reduce into CH2NH2. Group. Now see the question based on this. What is basically the question related to this? I am going to discuss in the now. See, question is basically there is a compound which is CH3 C double bond O and H. So this is basically ethanol. The ethanol, and in the ethanol, and in this ethanol compound, when you add HCN, so the compound A is obtained. So the compound A on partial hydrolysis, partial hydrolysis means in presence of H2O and H plus, it gives compound B. In the same way, A on the compound A on complete hydrolysis, means again in the reaction presence of H2O and H plus, it gives compound C. And again, this A compound on reaction with LiAlH4, gives compound B. So you have to identify the compound A, you have to identify the compound B, you have to identify the compound C, and you have to identify the compound D. So these compounds you have to identify. These 4 compounds you have to identify. So I'm going to discuss this question on the next page so that you can easily understand this question. Now see what is basically the question. See. So basically the question is, we have CH3, C double bond O and H. This compound we have. In the first step, we add HCN. HCN is basically H plus CN minus. H plus Cn minus. So this is basically nucleophilic addition reaction because of partial positive charge on carbon. So this Cn minus will attack on this carbon and this pi bond will break on oxygen. So this will be like this CS3, this will be like this CS3, C. On this carbon there will be Cn group and there is hydrogen, and this oxygen H, because of negative charge on this oxygen, this H plus will attack. So this will form OH. Now see, because there is a Cn group, because there is a Cn group, now I am doing the reactions, and this is chiral center also because 4 different groups are attached. Now the first reaction I'm going to discuss, the first reaction you can also write, this compound as CH3 CH, CH3 CH and OH and Cn. In this way you can write this compound, and this carbon is basically the chiral carbon. So I'm going to discuss the first reaction related to this, which is partial hydrolysis. We know in case of partial hydrolysis, in the case of partial hydrolysis, this Cn group converts into, in case of partial hydrolysis, this Cn group, this Cn, basically C triple bond N group, will change into amide group. So the product obtained will be CS3. The product obtained will be CS3CH, and this is OH, and this is C double bond O. This is C double bond O NH2. So this product is obtained on partial hydrolysis. Now, what happens on complete hydrolysis? So on complete hydrolysis, we know in complete hydrolysis, again the reaction in presence of H2 and H plus. So in case of complete hydrolysis, this Cn, this C triple bond N, in case of complete hydrolysis, gets converted into COOH group. So it will form CS3, CH OH, and this is COOH. So this product is obtained after complete hydrolysis. Now what happens again? The next we are going to discuss with LiAlH4. So next I am going to discuss with LiAlH4. We know LiAlH4 is a strong reducing agent. This is a strong reducing agent. So LiAlH4 converts C triple bond N into CH2 NH2 group. Now the product obtained will be, and you should also know the name of this compound because this is important. This compound name is basically lactic acid. If you want to write this, so you may write also name. The name of this compound is basically lactic acid. When LiAlH4 reacts, so it will form CH3, CH, and this is OH, and this C double bond N will converts into CH2 NH2. So this product is obtained. Basically in this case. And also you should remember this LiAlH4 will also reduce this alcoholic group. So it will also reduce this alcoholic group. So the product obtained, reduction means removal of oxygen. So it will convert into CH3CH2. NH2. So this product is obtained. You should remember, because LiAlH4 can reduce alcoholic group also. So this product is obtained. Now see the next question related to this. So I'm going to discuss the next question related to this. See the next question. The next question is basically the compound we have. Basically benzaldehyde. So this compound is basically benzaldehyde, which is benzene having CHO group. and first we add HCN, then the compound A is obtained, and on hydrolysis means reaction with H2O and H positive, the compound B is obtained. Now see what happens. The compound given is C double bond O and H, and this is basically the H positive. And this is Cn negative. So this compound is there. Now see. So after reaction, what happens? You can easily see this is partial positive charge on carbon. When this nucleophile Cn minus attacks on this carbon, so and this pi bond will break. So this H plus will attack on oxygen. So the product obtained after reaction, is basically like this. This is C. On this oxygen, hydrogen is added. On this oxygen, hydrogen. This is hydrogen, and this is basically Cn. Now, if there is H2O and H plus given, it means we have to do the complete hydrolysis. We should do the complete hydrolysis. So when we do the complete hydrolysis, the complete hydrolysis of this Cn group, will be like this. This is C. This OH group will remain same. This H group will remain same. But this Cn group will convert into COOH group. And this carbon is basically the chiral center. So this product is obtained. In this case. Now see the next question related to this. If compound is given like this, this is CH3, C, double bond O, and CH3. So this compound is given basically, and this is the symmetrical ketone. And in this symmetrical ketone, when we add HCN, H plus having positive charge and Cn having negative charge, this carbon is being electrophilic in nature, so partial positive on this carbon and partial negative on this oxygen. So when there is an attack of nucleophile on this carbon, so this pi bond will breaks. And gets shifted onto the oxygen atom. So Cn is added to this carbon. CH3 is also there, and on this oxygen there will be negative charge. Now because of we have H plus, so this H plus will attack on this oxygen. So when this H plus attacks on this oxygen, the product will be like this: CH3COH and CH3, and this is Cn. And you can easily see in the second step when we do hydrolysis. So we are going to do hydrolysis also. Whenever there is a hydrolysis, if H2O and H plus is given, so what happens in this case? Basically, this Cn group will be changes into COOH group. So the final answer will be CH3C, and this is OH, and this is CH3. So this Cn group will convert into COOH group. So this product is obtained. So this is basically in case of symmetrical ketone. Now see what happens in the case of unsymmetrical ketone. Now I'm going to discuss what happens in the case of unsymmetrical ketone. Now see the question related to unsymmetrical ketone. So the question is basically, if compound given is like CH3, C double bond O, CH2 and CH3. If this compound is given and we add HCN to this, so what happens in this case? you can easily say this H positive, this is basically H positive, and this is basically Cn negative. So this carbon is being electrophilic, and on this oxygen there is partial negative. So what happens in this case? This Cn minus will attack. This Cn minus will attack on this electrophilic carbon. So this will attack on this electrophilic carbon. So this pi bond will shift on the oxygen atom. So it will form CS3. It will form CS3. It will form CS3. C, and Cn attacks on this carbon. So it will be like this O negative, and this is CH2 and CS3. Now this H plus will attack. This H plus will attack on this oxygen atom. So it will form CS3. It will form CS3C OH, and this is CH2 CS3 like this. And this is basically the Cn group. And when we do the hydrolysis, so hydrolysis H2O and H plus, it means it is complete hydrolysis. So the product will be, after complete hydrolysis, it will be CH3COH. This is basically OH group. So you can say this group is basically the OH group, and this is CH2 CH3, and this Cn group gets converted into COH group. It will be like, so this product is obtained. This product is obtained in this case. So we can easily identify whenever there is a chiral carbon like this. So we have already seen whenever there is a chiral carbon, so there is chance of always racemic mixture. So racemic mixture is obtained. The product form is racemic mixture, but only in the case of formaldehyde, racemic mixture is not obtained. So note this point, make a note about this point. We can easily say all symmetrical, or you can say all unsymmetrical. So basically you can say all unsymmetrical ketones and aldehydes. All unsymmetrical ketones and aldehydes. So all unsymmetrical ketones and aldehydes except formaldehyde, give racemic mixture on addition of HCN, on addition of HCN. Now see the question related to this. Now see the question based on this. The question is basically which of the following. The question is basically which of the following will give racemic mixture. Which of the following will give racemic mixture? Which of the following will give racemic mixture on addition of HCN? On addition of HCN. So this is basically the question. The first option is, the option number A is CH3, C, double bond O, and CH3. Now see, the option B is CH3, C, double bond O, and H. And option C is HC, double bond O, and H. And option D is this one, benzophenone. What is benzophenone? Benzophenone is basically this compound. Now see, you can see in this case, the first compound is basically symmetrical. So this is symmetrical. Symmetrical compounds do not give racemic mixture. So symmetrical symmetrical aldehydes and ketones do not give the racemic mixture. So we are looking for the unsymmetrical. We are looking for the unsymmetrical aldehyde and ketone. So we are looking for unsymmetrical aldehyde and ketone. So this is CS3 and this is H. Yes, this can give addition reaction with SCN. Now see aldehyde. This is again symmetrical, and we have already discussed all symmetrical aldehyde ketone except formaldehyde. This is formaldehyde. This compound is basically formaldehyde. So this compound is basically formaldehyde, and we know formaldehyde do not give the racemic mixture with SCN. This is again symmetrical. Symmetrical compounds do not give racemic mixture. We know symmetrical compound do not give racemic. So this compound will not give. This compound will also not give. This is formaldehyde. This will give the. This compound will give the racemic mixture on addition with SCN. So we have discussed today the chemical property in aldehyde and ketones, and also we have discussed the nucleophilic addition reaction, the addition of SCN. So in the next lecture, we will discuss some more reactions related to the nucleophilic addition reaction. So wait for the next lecture.